Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar as a presentation for our International Relations and European Politics Bachelor program. I'm the director of the program. My name is Martin, and with me I have Anjanette, who is our former and current student. So she's gone through the entire International Relations and European Politics Bachelor program and chose to stay with us for the Master's program. Hi, Anjanette. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Hope you're well too.
I'm fine, thanks. So what we want to do in a couple of minutes is introduce the program to you and really have it be more a live interaction between a student, a current student and former student of the program, and myself to talk about the benefits of the program and why you might choose to study with us and study this field. So with that, I'll jump forward and talk about international relations and European politics as such. What is interesting about this field? What are your career prospects? Many of these things you can find online relatively easily. You can find statistics on our employment rates. You can find statistics of what our alumni do. What I would like to highlight is one benefit to the program, because it is relatively broad in what it covers and offers a lot of choice to students as to where they want to focus. We have a very, very broad field in which alumni may be employed. Now, international affairs are obviously relevant in many fields, as well as European studies. Many of our alumni actually work back at their public offices, whether they be embassies, ministries, think tanks, in a capacity of an expert on Europe or in international affairs. That is already after they're finished their bachelor, if that is possible for them, or it puts them in an excellent position to gain admission to top tier master's level programs, whether that be across Europe, and I do very much include Brno in among those programs. What you can expect if this is your career choice, if this is something you're looking forward to, our alumni typically rank or end up in diplomacy and public service and civil service, policy specialists. We have a lot of alumni from the department, from this program and the Czech programs that are EU civilian experts, or they can work for NGOs. But obviously, you're not limited to the public sphere. There is a very high demand for the skills that our graduates come out with among international corporate relations, for example, or businesses. A lot of our graduates gain admission to the excellent programs, but also a very high percentage are capable of getting work in the field that they studied. Okay, so that it's not just me talking about the program, I'll try to introduce several pillars that we find we are proud of in the program that might attract your interest. But I want to bounce that off of Anjanette, who has gone through the actual experiencing of being a student. So the first thing we're very proud of, we put immense work into, is we want our bachelors, because they're already adults, to be able to choose what they're studying among the broad field of international relations and European politics. So we rather made the core of the program, the compulsory courses, quite small, in that it's the absolute necessity that every student must know, but rather we've invested in providing a very, very large selection of optional courses so that students can already try to specialize or work in the area of interest, or at least familiarize themselves with more of the aspects of international relations and European politics. We find in comparison this is done to a degree we haven't found with other programs, so a lot of selection. I'll go ahead and ask you, Anjanette, did you feel like you were kind of railroaded to some sort of path, or you had a very broad selection, or did you find anything about the selection appealing?
There was indeed a broad selection. It was quite overwhelming at first because I'm the kind of person who's interested in everything. So I just kind of wanted to take all the courses and be in them. But that was not always possible in one semester. So the good thing is that you can spread it out through your studies in the bachelor's level. And I noticed that there are different, let's say, fields of interest. Like if you're interested in the Middle East, or if you're interested in Asia or the US or even Europe, you have a choice, and you can even mix and match those courses and take them as your optional courses. Personally, I think that now that I'm done with it, I've noticed that I've leered more towards the European and Middle Eastern as well as Asian field related courses. So I thought that that was quite a healthy mix, I think, of courses.
Okay. I'm very glad to hear that without pre-rehearsing. Another pillar, the department is rather large and has invested into internationalization. So currently the program has over 100 students with extreme variety. There's not many local students. There's very, very few local students in the program, although students do get mixed in especially optional courses with Czech students. So you also have that experience. It's not purely international, but the setting really of the entire university and of the faculty and of Brno has become much more international in the last decade. So the department itself, which runs the program, runs 4 other master's level programs that are completely international, completely English taught. The faculty has more of those programs, and then the university obviously holds still more. And if that isn't enough, then you might be glad to know that Brno is really a student city. It's filled with multiple universities, multiple large universities that also have international programs. Anjanette, you've been here for a while. Do you see that being a direction of Brno being more internationalized, more student-friendly for international students? Or is
yeah, like, sorry to cut you off there, but definitely I do think that over the years that I've been here, there's always been an increase in international faces and an international community here in the city as well as in the university. I'm really surprised all the time whenever the new semester starts and I see a bunch of new faces in the street. Like, Brno is not that big, but you do get to bump into people quite often, and it's just interesting. Sometimes you hear a new language while you're walking down the street and you're like, oh, I haven't heard anyone speak this language in the city before. That's kind of cool, and they're probably new to the city. So I think that that's a cool part. You get to interact and mix with a bunch of international people from different backgrounds and different experiences.
excellent. That's definitely our impression, and we try to add to it with the program. It does make sense studying international relations and European politics with other international students and Europeans. The mix really does add a lot to the mutual understanding. The next pillar is kind of the practical aspect, and I do not want to focus here on the courses that have a practical leaning, that build skills in presentation, academic writing, oral performance, or et cetera, some soft skills that are very applicable towards future studies and towards future careers. But I also want to point out that we try to go out of our way to assist students in getting internships and being successful in internships and trying to do those internships while they are studying. So they're a component which we try to integrate with the program. We do fully understand that practical experience sometimes just hands down beats academic knowledge. So we try to support that. That goes for Erasmus as well. And we have had many successful applicants to internships in prestigious organizations. They come back, we have that experience, we have those connections. So that network keeps on growing, but it's already quite well established. Alongside that, we do also have an appreciation for students who need to work and gain experience from work. And there is literally nobody better to ask than Anjanette about how she was able to connect her studies with her work. So how was that?
Yeah, actually, at one point during my bachelor's, I was working at a newspaper. Well, not newspaper, because that's not that wasn't it. It was a news website for the city of Brno, and it was in English language. So it was great that I was able to use the skills that I learned while studying international relations and European politics in the field of journalism. Like, I was able to produce news articles and interact and interview a bunch of people who were relevant to, well, let's say the news articles that I was preparing. So I think that the interpersonal skills that I also learned throughout my studies helped me with that. So.
Excellent. We really try to support our students in being capable of managing both things. And we understand that time management is an issue for everyone. So especially in the bachelor program, where you need to have a look around, you need to try new things, even if it's just courses, there is also room for you to try the practical experience. One more pillar that I'd like to accentuate is the kind of size and dedication of the department. The department is the largest at the faculty. We have more than 30 regular full-time staff, a lot of external collaborators, and because the department itself is not very old, it's 15 years old. Before that, it was in the political science department. It's filled with relatively young people. So our professors, they're not 50 yet. Our full professors, our associate professors, some of them are not even 40 yet. And most of the staff, the assistant professors, are between 30s and 40s, which means that they're quite dedicated and a little bit more in touch with technologies, assistance, multitasking, etc. And because we provide so many English language programs, they're very versed in doing so at a high expert level of English, and investing into feedback with students, engagement, being kind of a little bit more open with the students. Is that something, Anjanette, you've experienced with staff, or do you have a comparison you can make with other programs or experiences of your classmates?
Yeah, actually, I would say that it was really interesting for me to see the lecturers and the professors. They were very communicative, and they're very they like to motivate their students to speak up, and they try to encourage us to not be afraid to say our own opinions and thoughts on certain topics at hand. So they're very helpful, and also, like, sometimes we do need some help with the technology as students. Sometimes we're not able to navigate through the university system that well, and the professors and lecturers are very welcoming, and they help us through that. They even give very clear, concise instructions, which was like, you can't go wrong with it. It was really nice to see that. And I've actually heard from some of the classmates who I encountered who were from different programs, and even some of them were Erasmus students, so they were here on exchange at Masaryk University. They would talk about how interesting and different it was for them. Like, it was a breath of fresh air for them, apparently, that like the professors and lecturers are really in touch with people from younger generations, and they didn't even feel a divide or anything like, oh, we're older than you and we're more experienced than you, so you're not allowed to talk to us. They were really happy that everyone was just very communicative and easy to talk to. So yeah.
I will try to pass that along. Thank you. The last pillar, which I would like to accentuate, is we've invested into something we find extremely important, especially at the bachelor level, and that's dedicated support. So we have now, at this time, 5 staff that are dedicated to the program, specifically to interact with students, assist them in their issues that they might have with visas, getting here, getting orientated in a completely new city, new environment, whether they be from Latin America, Africa, the Far East, Southeast Asia, wherever they're from, because it's such a huge change, and they might be met with different challenges, or they require assistance for doing an internship or Erasmus while trying to continue studying. We understand the challenges, they pop up naturally, and we've built the program around being supportive of students. I know Anjanette went through some of the first phases of the program, so it was some hard nails to bite through for the support. Is that something you feel should be still improved, or where would you see kind of us doing better with this, Anjanette?
In my experience, I thought it was really great, the support, the communications from your side of the faculty and the university to a student. They were very clear cut, and I was really surprised actually, because I wasn't expecting so much help, let's say, because you kind of feel like, oh, now you're an adult, you have to deal with this on your own, it's time to go cry in a corner. But that wasn't the case at all. It was great that we could come to you and anyone else in the faculty for assistance and any advice. And I even see there in the slide that it mentions the informal meetings and happenings. And I remember when we were all newer in Brno, we all really looked forward to them because we could kind of interact with everyone in an informal setting and get to know each other. And also, that was kind of a good place to get advice to do normal everyday things like, oh, is there a better coffee shop that that I could use for studying? All those small things that you think that they aren't important, but actually they could help you in the long run. So.
Excellent. Well, we'll try to reconvene them as soon as all the restrictions are removed. Excellent. Well, you can study international relations and European politics in very few other departments. You could study one or the other at other departments, but the huge benefit of this department is it merges those two things together. Based on that big staff and based on the fact that we are a state university, the bachelor program here has several more advantages when we made a comparison with other places you might be considering. The first one is kind of obvious, the price point and what's included in the price point. If you go to our website, you will definitely find out more what's included in the price point, and it's pretty much everything, including sitting at home, clicking, and having the book you're supposed to read, and part of the book at least that you're supposed to read. That part that you're supposed to read available to you, immediately have feedback from professors, have library support, etc. There's a lot of things packed in, and even extras. So being a large state university, you can take courses outside of the program. Say exactly like Anjanette, you might be interested in journalism, so you can take a journalism class. We count some of those credits, but we don't charge you for those extra credits. That huge benefit in the selection, whether in the program or outside of the program, really plays out. We regularly have students who in their second year figure out, well, I'm really fascinated by international business and I want to get into a master that is for international finance. Can I do that with this program? Well, yes, you can, because you can take specialized out-of-program courses in economics at the economics faculty. It's not going to cost you extra. You have to manage your time, like Anjanette said, but it is quite possible. We also expect you to study further languages. Obviously, international relations and European politics benefits from knowing more languages. And I think the last point to accentuate is something Anjanette already touched upon, in that we try to approach our students as being partners rather than being far removed from us. Something that helps us do this is that even at the bachelor level, we try to keep a strict cap on the size of classes and courses. So they won't go above a size where the lecturer becomes detached from whoever he's teaching. While some compulsory courses will still have around 50 students, the optional courses will be smaller and with much more interaction. So you get to engage with your colleagues, you get to engage with the lecturers, and I feel really that helps the learning process a lot. Okay, I know we have questions already popping up in the chat. So the last thing I want to leave you with is, here's our email, here's our web address. Check us out. And we already know several of the questions that students or applicants like to ask. So I'll go ahead and I'll take some of those. And I know they repeat every time, so I'll go ahead and use one of those, two of those questions, and just post them to Anjanette before we move on right away. Anjanette, you've been in Brno for quite some time now. This is the 4th year, if I'm correct. You
Yeah.
just your fourth year in Brno. So what's it like for an international student in Brno?
I thought so far that it's quite great. As I mentioned earlier, there's a huge international community and an international scene here in the city, and you can meet different people from different backgrounds. And the best part is that when you meet someone from a different background, they will also be interested in your background and in your experiences. So I think being an international student here is all about meeting and interacting with many different people, and sharing experiences. And who knows, like you could totally be good friends and even go through some new experiences yourself. I mean, you're both going to be in a new foreign country, in a new different city. So there's definitely a lot of choices on how you could live your life here in the city. And people are proud of where they come from. And Brno has accepted that. So I think that it's quite good being here and as an international student.
Excellent. Is there like a sweet spot you found during your experiences? Like this is the one thing I appreciate the most about the program, or about my choice of coming to study this particular program?
I think my most favorite part, the part that I always like to tell everyone about the program, is that you have a choice on what you want to study in terms of your optional courses, and you can control your own time as long as you know how to manage it. Time management is indeed a tough thing. Everyone struggles with it. So the university kind of just lets you grow as a person and encourages you to make sure that you keep track of your own schedule, and you can plan your classes around your life, if that makes sense. Like if you are too busy on one day with too many classes, you could just decide to take that course in another semester, and maybe you'll come back to it and it'll be okay. So I think that's my favorite thing. The university lets you have a life and control your own schedule.
Excellent. Thank you. I think we're ready to take some questions from outside students. So I'm quite interested in this program, but I'm not certain what kind of jobs I will be able to pursue. Well, Anjanette is in a master's, but she's also in a job. So she could speak about her experience. I think I've mentioned some of the type of work that our alumni do. I know it is a overall general feeling that still a master is required. In fact, many of the international organizations require to have at least a bachelor, but then actually ask for at least a master in specialization, whether that's the UN or even the EU. Doesn't mean you can't get employed with only a bachelor degree, but it becomes much easier with a master's degree in that specialized field. So still, after the bachelor program, the larger portion of our alumni go to master's programs kind of anywhere in the world, whether that's the US, the EU, or they stay within one of our four master's program we have at the department, to which they're definitely welcome, and we're glad to have them. Other than that, the employability is just very broad, but the key thing is it's very high. So we have very good statistics for the employability of our alumni in the field that they actually studied. So not just doing any odd work, but in the field that they're studied. Those numbers are near the 90%. It's 83, 84%, depending on the time period we look at. So it's a very high employability rate. And you can check out our web pages to look at who our alumni are. Do we have another question? Okay, Anjanette, would you like to take this one?
Yeah, sure, I could. I'd say that the classes, or at least the compulsory classes, they give you a more neutral perspective, I would say. I mean, yeah, you can discuss it in a European perspective, or let's say we have some lecturers who are experts in the American perspective on certain issues, but the key point is that, well, I would say it's neutral because you can focus on any of the perspectives as you'd like, and you're free to bounce off the ideas off of everyone in the classroom, because everyone's got different backgrounds, and even the lecturer acts as a facilitator to those discussions. So I think that works, and it works very well. And also it depends on like what kind of course you're taking. I mean, in some optional courses, I think there's a course that helps you look at a certain topic or region at hand, but with a different perspective, like an Asian perspective or a Middle Eastern perspective. So I guess the answer would be it depends, but you get a fair choice of how you want to look at things.
Yeah, that is definitely built into the design of the program. We don't want things to get stale. So we're in fact at the faculty and very much among most of the university, the department with the highest number of visiting lecturers per semester. So we try to get people from all over the world to drop in and not just say hi, but transfer their knowledge and then their perspective, which might be quite different on individual topics. So there's also outside input, and students are not limited to the staff that's already here present. Excellent. Do we have more questions that we'd like to answer? I'm a little bit concerned about studying my bachelor's in another country and being far from home. Can you let me know what it is like to move to a new country? I feel Anjanette has to be the best person to answer that. I've heard plenty of stories. I've helped plenty of students with getting acclimatized to Brno, but I haven't lived the experience. So Anjanette, over to you.
Yeah, actually, I remember when I first came to the Czech Republic, I actually landed in Prague, and Prague is, well, it's the capital city of the Czech Republic, and I didn't spend so much time there because it was just a place to transit in to go to Brno. I had to come here by bus, and I thought it was really exciting. I was a little bit nervous because, you know, I was quite young, and I didn't know what was ahead of me. Like, oh, did I do the right thing? Am I interacting with people around me politely? Because I didn't want to insult anyone, you know, coming from a different culture and a different background. I would say that the best part of it all was that I was able to sign up for a student buddy from the International Student Club, and my buddy helped me navigate through the city. Like, she picked me up from the bus station and she helped me get to the dorms, and we hung out a little bit. And then also a meeting with Martin and the other lecturers and faculty staff. They really helped us a lot. As students, I feel like it was good to see people who you knew were gonna be there to help you out through your time here in Brno. So it can be scary, but you've got a good support system here, and you have a lot of resources to help you out. So that's how I felt.
Wonderful. I think we're out of questions for the time being. Anyway, we've reached our time limit. We want to thank everybody for joining us. If there's anything you would like to know, either email us at this address or visit our website. You should find all manner of information there about the program, and we'll be very happy to get back to you if you don't. Thank you for joining us.